right now on Word on the Street Investigates. The Mo3 case. On November 11th, 2020, Dallas rapper Mo3 was fatally shot in broad daylight on Interstate 35E. What initially appeared to be a single targeted highway killing would eventually expand into a years-long investigation involving multiple defendants, federal prosecutions, and an alleged murder-for-hire plot. Just before noon, Melvin Noble, known professionally as Mo3, was traveling northbound on Interstate 35E in Dallas between Illinois Avenue and Clarendon Drive. According to police, another vehicle stopped nearby and an armed man approached Mo3's vehicle. Mo3 got out and began running southbound down the freeway. The armed man followed him on foot and fired multiple rounds. Mo3 was struck by the gunfire. An uninvolved motorist sitting inside another vehicle was also wounded. Both men were transported to a hospital. Mo3, who was 28 years old, died from his injuries. The second victim survived. 8 days later, Dallas police released surveillance images of the suspected gunman and the vehicle believed to have been used during the attack. Police described the suspect as wearing a face covering and carrying a firearm. The vehicle was identified as a possible black 2014 or 2015 Chevrolet Camaro. Police said the attacker returned to the Camaro and left northbound on Interstate 35E. On December 9, 2020, federal agents, U.S. Marshals, and Dallas police arrested 22-year-old Keywan Duntrail White in Oak Cliff. Authorities identified White as the alleged gunman. He faced a Dallas County murder charge in Mo3's death, along with a separate federal charge for possessing a firearm as a convicted felon. In February 2021, a Dallas County grand jury indicted White for murder. On April 22, 2021, Devin Maurice Brown Jr. became the second man indicted for murder in connection with Mo3's death. Reporting based on court records said investigators examined witness information, phone communications, and location data while developing the case. While the murder charge remained unresolved, White's separate federal firearms case continued. He pleaded guilty in May 2022. That November, a federal judge sentenced him to 105 months, 8 years and 9 months in federal prison. That sentence was for a firearm offense arising from an incident before Mo3's death. Then, more than 4 years after the killing, the case expanded again. On March 18, 2025, a Dallas County grand jury indicted Marquise DeAndre Conway, professionally known as Yellow Beezy, on a charge of capital murder while remuneration. Prosecutors alleged that Conway employed Keywan White to kill Mo3 in exchange for payment or the promise of payment. Conway was arrested 2 days later. His initial bond was set at $2 million, later reduced to $750,000. He was released under restrictive bond conditions. Conway has pleaded not guilty. As the case approaches trial, the courtroom battle has moved beyond the events on Interstate 35. During a July 17, 2026 pretrial hearing, a Dallas detective testified that several songs recorded by Conway supported the state's murder-for-hire theory. The detective also cited interviews, an alleged history of conflict between Conway and Mo3, and White's presence with Conway at a concert before the killing. The defense disputes the state's interpretation and argues against treating artistic expression and the public persona as literal proof of criminal intent. A further pretrial hearing is scheduled for July 24th. The trial is currently scheduled for August 24th, 2026. 5 years after Mo3 was killed, the central allegations have still not been decided by a jury. The indictment is not a conviction, testimony is not a verdict, and every defendant remains presumed innocent unless the state proves guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.